I thought it was very informative and instructional, entertaining as well.
They had better come see it. It's great.
It's an excellent presentation of all aspects of falling.
I thought it was wondrous for all of us, and it can help us to stay alive longer too.
Oh, it was just wonderful. As you get older, you know, you have falls and you can think about what you're going to do, and this prepares you for that.
Very informative on how to safely fall.
Oh, definitely. Get information for this because everyone goes through this sometime or another. Whether you trip over your kids' toys or going downstairs.
I thought it was very instructive. I learned a lot of ways how to fall.
And how to recover once you're down.
Because I was taking care of my 96-year-old mother and didn't know how to get her up. I volunteered for a hospice. We weren't allowed to help anybody up because we didn't have the right techniques and we were told not to. So this has been great.
I think it'd be a good investment in protection for themselves and loved ones to be aware of fall prevention as well as how to handle a fall. Very, very well done.
When I started this, my balance was very, very poor. I was in danger all the time of falling and occasionally did. And now I'm strong and I'm in good balance and I walk every day and I have a good time in life because I'm not thinking about dying, I'm thinking more about living and enjoying it. Well, the results I've achieved is a great, massive improvement in my balance. My strength is stronger, especially my legs and arms, so that I don't fall because I'm strong enough to recover when I do have problems. And I'm now much more relaxed because I don't have to worry about falling, and my arms are stronger so that if I should fall, I can get up now and I won't have any trouble doing it. I learned a lot about my physical structure, which muscles I need to use, which muscles I need to exercise regularly. And I also learned how to fall safely. I learned how to get up with help or without help. In almost any place I don't worry about it anymore because I know I can get up. That's because I'm learned how to do it and because I'm stronger. And I have a really good time exercising. I look forward to it because it's a fun time. Not a straight face, but it's serious and it solved my problem. You could really prolong your life and feel good while you're doing it because it gives you a lot of confidence that you know what to do. Get off your rear end and get with it because it's really worth it. I exercise all together, both at home and here in the gym, about an hour a day, plus I walk some, and I get all the other 22 and some hours to be well and happy and enjoying life.
Hello, my name is Tim Rabatoy. I'm a strength and conditioning specialist and the creator of the Falling Solution System. I'll be your host today. This is the most complete resource on falling skills, fall recovery techniques, and fall prevention exercise and conditioning available anywhere in the world. I'd like to welcome you to the Falling Solution System. Welcome to part 2, non-assisted fall recovery techniques. In this part of the section, I'll show you how to get off the ground if there's nothing to use in your environment except the floor. If you've fallen down and you're having trouble getting up off the floor, I always suggest trying to locate and use something in your environment to help you stand back up. But with falling, every situation can be completely different. Falls happen when we least expect them, and they happen in every different kind of environment. After a fall, choosing your fall recovery technique depends on 4 things. Number 1 is your environment. Where you've fallen, on what surface, and what you have or don't have to use in your environment for fall recovery. Number 2 is your injury status. If you've been injured in a fall, and depending on where you've been injured and how you've been injured, you may not be able to get to your knees or move the way you normally would to get back up. Number 3 is your physical condition. Everyone has different strengths when it comes to fall recovery. Coupled with a possible injury, your strength level and what your body can or can't do after a fall will dictate what technique you're able to physically use. And number 4 is your knowledge of fall recovery techniques. That's where the Falling Solution System comes in. Knowing what to do to get yourself back up and using the right technique to work with your body, your condition, and your environment makes all the difference in a fall recovery situation. Remember to think of this section as a fall recovery toolbox. The whole idea is to give you lots of strategies and options so you can select the right technique to match your situation when you really need it. If there is nothing in your environment to use to help you stand back up, you'll have to use a non-assisted fall recovery technique. Up next, I'll show you 14 ways to recover from a fall using just the floor. I'll show you how to do it if you can't get to your knees, and I'll show you exactly how to do them step by step. The first technique we'll look at is a traditional floor stand. This is probably the most common way that people stand up, but I wanted to cover some of the finer points to make it easier. On this one, make sure to have your leg bent at 90 degrees. If it's bent less than that, your leg is much less stable to push against. With one hand on the floor and one hand on your thigh, look straight ahead and try to push yourself up as quickly as you can. Technique number 2 is called a back press floor stand. If you have bad knees or knee replacements, or if you don't have enough power in your front leg, this technique might be a good alternative for you. Once again, you'll start on your knees and bring one leg up to 90 degrees. This time, put your hand flat on the floor and put your other hand on your thigh for support. With your arms straight, lean your body over your floor hand, and then instead of pushing up with your leg, focus on straightening your down leg straight back while keeping your hand in contact with the floor the whole time. Then bring your feet underneath you and stand up. Non-assisted technique number 3 is called the floor baby. It's called a floor baby because this technique mimics how babies usually stand up for the first time, and it's an extremely effective technique for fall recovery. If you don't have the power in your legs to stand up, this technique will let you use your entire body. Starting on your knees, put both hands flat on the floor in front of you and bring one leg out to the side. Lean your upper body over your hands to take the pressure off of your down leg, and then bring it up as well at the same time. From there, you can crawl your hands back to your legs and then walk yourself up your body to stand. Technique number 4 is called a pike lift. This is a great technique to use if you can't bring your leg around all at once. The next several techniques are all subtle variations of the floor baby technique, and depending on your condition, your strength, and your situation, you can select the one that works the best for you. Starting on the knees, put both hands flat on the floor in front of you with your arms as straight as possible and bring one leg out to the side. Lean your upper body over your hands and try to straighten your down leg at the same time with your hands flat on the floor for stability. Bring your leg around if you can, and then crawl your hands back to your legs and walk your hands up your body to stand. Technique number 5 is a crawling pike lift. This is a great technique to have if you have muscle weakness, injury, or loss of feeling in the legs and can't bring your other leg around after lifting it up. This variation uses mostly upper body strength and requires very little leg strength to accomplish. Once again, you'll start on your knees with your hands flat on the floor in front of your chest, with your arms as straight as possible, and bring one leg out to the side. As you lean your upper body over your hands, try to straighten your down leg at the same time. This time, if you can't bring your leg in any further, maintain your pike position with your hands flat on the floor for balance, and then crawl your hands all the way back to your legs and up your body to stand. Technique number 6 is a straight leg pike lift. If you can't bend your knee or you have an injury to the leg, this technique provides a great variation that takes almost no leg strength at all. Once again, starting on the knees, place your hands flat on the floor, directly in front of your chest, with your arms as straight as possible. Bring one leg out to the side and keep the leg straight with your foot flat on the floor. Lean your upper body over your hands and try to straighten your down leg at the same time. Maintain your balance with your hands flat on the floor and then crawl your hands all the way back to your legs and up your body to stand. Technique number 7 is called a switch lift. This is a great technique to quickly get your down leg off the ground using very little leg strength at all. Just like with a lot of the techniques you've seen so far, this technique depends on getting your body weight momentarily onto 3 points of contact so you can bring both your feet up. Starting on your knees, put your hands flat on the floor directly in front of your chest with your arms as straight as possible. Stay on one knee and then extend the other leg straight with only your toes in contact with the ground. Lean your upper body over your hands to take the pressure off your knee, then quickly straighten your down leg to come onto your toes and step in as far as possible with your straight leg at the same time. Step in with your back leg if you can, and then crawl your hands back to your legs and up your body to stand. Technique number 8 is called an arching lift. This one takes almost no strength at all to accomplish, and it's a great variation to get both knees off the floor without much effort. Start on your knees with your hands flat on the floor directly in front of your chest with your arms as straight as possible. Just like the switch step, stay on one knee and then extend the other leg straight with only your toes on the ground. This time, focus on keeping your arms straight for stability and then straightening both legs while arching up as high as possible. Keep your hands on the floor for balance the whole time and then walk your legs in as far as you can. Crawl your hands back to your legs and up your body to stand. The next 6 techniques are all designed for situations when you can't get to your knees, and they put no direct pressure on the knees at all. Technique number 9 is called a push-up step. If you're injured, you have bad knees, or you're on a really hard surface that makes getting to your knees impossible, this is a great technique for getting up without having to get on your knees or use much leg strength at all. You'll start face down with your hands flat on the floor in a push-up position, making sure to keep the toes of both feet in contact with the floor. Quickly push yourself up and bring one of your legs in at the same time as far as you can. Step around with your other leg, keeping your hands flat on the floor for balance, and then crawl your hands back to your legs and up your body to stand. And remember that it doesn't need to be a big step in. It can be a small step, and then you can bring yourself up in stages if you need to. Just do the best you can, and then use your upper and lower body together to bring yourself back up. Technique number 10 is called a twisting cross step. This technique is perfect for hard surfaces, leg injuries, or if you can't get onto your knees, and takes very little strength to accomplish. On this technique, start on one side with your bottom leg straight and flat, and then cross your other leg over the top with your foot flat on the floor. Hold yourself up with your arms as straight as possible, and then turn your upper body as far forward as you comfortably can. In one motion, twist your hips away from the floor, turning on the toe of your down leg. Step in as far as you can, and then crawl your hands back to your legs and up your body to stand. Technique number 11 is called a straight leg cross step. This is a great emergency technique you can use when you can't put any pressure on your knees and you're having trouble bending or pushing with your legs. Start on one side and then cross your top leg over the bottom one, keeping both legs flat and straight. Hold yourself up with your hands flat on the floor and your arms as straight as possible. Turn your upper body as far forward as you can, and in one motion, twist your hips away from the ground, keeping your hands flat on the floor to support you. Step in with your legs as far as you can, and then crawl back with your hands and up your body to stand. Technique number 12 is called a crawling cross step. This is another great emergency technique if you can get to your feet but you can't step in, and it takes very little leg strength at all to accomplish and puts very little stress on the knees. Once again, you'll start on one side and then cross your top leg over the bottom one, keeping both legs flat and straight. Hold yourself up with your hands flat on the floor and your arms as straight as possible. Turn your upper body as far forward as you comfortably can, and in one motion, twist your hips away from the ground and come up onto your feet, then quickly crawl in with your hands and up your body to stand. Technique number 13 is called a jackknife push-up. This technique works great if you can't put pressure on your knees, and it makes the whole body work together to quickly bring you off the ground. Once again, you'll start face down in a push-up position with your hands flat on the floor and your legs completely straight. Spread your feet apart and keep your toes in direct contact with the floor. Push up off the floor and push your hips up and back as high as you can while keeping your legs straight and your hands flat on the floor. Working together, step in with your legs and then crawl back with your arms and up your body to stand. Technique number 14 is a crawling jackknife push-up. This emergency technique is designed for people who have very little use of their legs at all and requires almost no leg strength to accomplish. This technique is based on one that paraplegics and leg braces can use to stand back up after a fall using a pair of crutches with zero help from their leg muscles. When someone in leg braces falls with crutches, their goal is to try to toss away the crutches as quickly as possible and then come down into the forward fall position that I showed you in section 2. To get back up, they'll use a crawling jackknife push-up to come up onto their legs and then use the crutches to get back to their feet. For our technique, you'll start face down in a push-up position with your hands flat on the floor and your legs completely straight. Spread your feet apart and keep your toes in direct contact with the floor. Push yourself up, pushing your hips up and back as high as you can while keeping your legs straight, and as quickly as you can, walk your hands back to your legs and up your body to stand. That concludes part 2 of fall recovery techniques, but in part 3 I'll show you how to help someone else after a fall and what to do to help them off the floor. Part 3, assisting in a fall recovery situation, coming up next.